There you have it, guys. A simple notification gained him a $7,000 client. You don't know how much a single post can change your entire life. It really can. There are some people in this audience and on this stage, if only they knew the services that you offer, then you would be a lot more active. Some people are actually looking for your services. Some people know how to do your services, but don't have time to do it. And that's the beautiful thing about social media. Everybody is a consumer. So it's important, just like Robert said, inform your followers. I mean, nothing makes me cringe more than somebody who has a private account and is seeking clients. I'm not sure what your strategy is, but it won't go very far because in this day and age, time is of the essence. You have to move quick and you have to move fast. If you look at some of the social media and Instagram accounts that are really successful, some of them are posting up to 20 times a day. Why do you think that is? Well, it's obvious that by posting up to 20 times a day, once they've really figured out their brand and they've figured out the message that they're putting out there, it's allowing them to grow substantially on social media, and they're obviously seeing results by getting more endorsements, getting money coming in. And, you know, I'd love for you guys to share, anyone on the panel, any experience that you guys have had, either similar to Robert or an endorsement that you received through one of your digital marketing tactics that you've used in 2021.
And no, it wasn't I was offered a manager contract, a boxing manager contract. But that was from, I only heard half of what was just said, but yeah, from speaking on Clubhouse, sharing my story, I was offered a boxing managerial contract in America. Does that come under what you just asked, or does that not come under it?
Yes, 100%. So you shared a story on, was it Clubhouse?
Yes. I was asked to do an interview with Dr. Cohen. We did an interview. I spoke about my life story, what I'd been through, what I'd achieved. And from that point there, someone put in touch with a manager. Then they had me on a Zoom call. He looked at some of my old fights. He looked at what I've been doing. And then he offered me a managerial contract to move out there and start boxing out there.
Wow, that's remarkable. See, so here's the thing, guys, and everyone in the audience. Everyone on this stage right now is an expert in their field of work and what they do, and have used social media and digital marketing to gain more clients. So if you feel like this is going to benefit your friends, please press the plus sign at the bottom right of the screen. Invite a few friends and include them in this discussion, because we're about to get into more details as to how you can empower yourself and your business through digital marketing. And be sure to follow all the moderators who've worked really hard and are spending a lot of time giving feedback as to what's been working for them and different strategies that they're using in 2021 for digital marketing. So it's good to have you here, Devondre. I'd love for you to share anything that you've done this year. I know you're a remarkable Google expert. Please share with the audience some things that you've done that you felt have been very effective in 2021 pertaining to digital marketing. Oh, he's not here. Okay. Oh, Devondre, you here?
There he is. Devondre.
I'm back. The app was glitching for me.
Yeah, he wanted to hear my voice. Come on.
How are you guys?
Good, thank you. Thank you for joining us, Devondre. Did you hear my question?
No, I didn't, man. It's Vondre, actually.
So, Vondre, please share with us digital marketing strategy that you've used recently in 2021. I know you're a remarkable Google expert, and I've gotten a chance to meet you offline, and I think you're a man of so much wisdom. So please share with us something you've done for a client that you felt was very impactful with your digital marketing tactic.
Oh, thank you, man. So, one thing that we just recently did was really just honed in on keywords. Like, keywords are like super important, and you're always going to continue to learn what people are searching and also the differences between the way that people search as well. So, what words can you add to the basis of your keywords right now, and what can you take away that could potentially help you out in getting a actual sale? So, we took one of our clients' keywords that was inside of real estate from, basically we were trying to go towards like three apartments, three bedroom homes for sale, 2 bedroom homes for sale with the pool. We were going for very, very specific keywords, but we thought about, okay, this is a specific area that kind of knows what they're actually looking for. They know what a bungalow is. This area particularly knows what what a colonial style house is. So we just basically stepped back and actually went towards different keywords and actually typed in the different styles of the houses. And we actually saw that people typically that want a certain style of home, they already know what they're actually looking for. So they're going to search for a very, very specific term, and they're looking for very specific things when they actually click on the ad and actually go to the landing page. So we really figured out what people were basically looking for colonial style homes, what people were looking for bungalows, and we just basically put that inside of their ads. By us switching out the type of keywords that we were basically targeting, we were able to basically get our client better customers and also help them by cutting down their lead costs by not going towards the other terms that really just had a lot of people just asking a lot of questions, or maybe just had a lot of people that weren't really ready to buy. Once we switched up the wording and the verbiage that we were using inside of our ads, we got in front of a more serious customer that was actually a little bit farther down the line on making their purchase. So just think of the keywords that you're targeting right now. What can you add? What can you take away that's going to be more of a word that someone is going to use if they're further down the totem pole? This is Who Does Your Marketing, and I'm out.
Boom. Thank you so much, Vondre. So to everyone in the audience, keywords is such an important aspect of the information that you're putting out there. If some of you don't know already, I know this is some of the basic knowledge, but you can actually search through emojis on this app. You can search through keywords on this app, and it'll allow you to find people who have similar interests. This is becoming more and more predominant because a lot of the social media right now are trying to rank on Google and create more exposure because it's a very competitive nature. So be sure to consider the keywords when you are developing your brand. Consider the keywords that will be impactful to your audience, and that will allow your audience who may not have seen your account or your profile and are searching online, they'll be able to find you, especially on LinkedIn. If you create an article on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has such a high domain authority that there's a very high likelihood when they're searching for something, and if your keywords are on point, it could rank in the first and second page of Google within a few days. So this is something that I would love for you guys to think about. And I'm leaving this panel open for anybody on stage who would love to give us digital marketing feedback that's worked in 2021. All right, now everybody at once.
Come on now, man. Come on now.
What's going on, guys?
Charlie, you want to talk about Facebook ads? What's working in 2021, since a lot of people have a little bit of ad spend going through there?
I think Charlie mentioned that he's going to be on a call earlier. So that's the important thing of having a back end as well. You can always communicate with each other, and they can let you know when they're busy or whatever else. But so 2021 has been a big change for a lot of us, especially 2020. It's made us realize how important digital marketing is. With the lockdowns and the pandemics, it's become a very competitive nature, and I believe that's why a lot of us are here, because we want to better ourselves. So this app has been a great blessing for us to meet with remarkable human beings who specialize in their field of work. So I'd love to leave this open. If anybody wants to raise their hand and come on stage If you have any questions for the moderators as well, you're more than welcome to ask questions. You don't have to be an expert in your field, and we'd be delighted to help you with some feedback. I see that Ecom Dave is here. Ecom Dave, what's worked for you this year in digital marketing? I don't think I've ever heard Ecom Dave talk before, to be honest, on this stage. Yes. Okay. So, Chris, what are you thinking?
So, I mean, going off what I was saying earlier regarding educational-based marketing, I mean, for us, I mean, one of the biggest things has been email. You know, we talk about all these social platforms, but just that first-party data and being able to send those messages or, you know, generate more opt-ins or leads or more viewers watching our stuff without having to pay for advertising. And, you know, obviously we work with different influencers and we have different lists that we're using. But besides the educational-based marketing that I spoke about earlier, I would say email is still working in 2021. And I think it'll still work in the future. I know some people talk about email is dead, but think about it. Like, you need an email just to use your phone, to log in into the Apple Store, essentially. You need an email for every single platform. You're going to always need some kind of email to get online or to use any of this stuff. So I would say email has been working very well in 2021. And I also would have to say with YouTube has been, you know, the video educational aspect, but YouTube's been working really well. And for a third platform, I would probably suggest is Pinterest. And Pinterest isn't really a social media platform. It's a visual, it's probably one of the largest visual search engines in the world. And if you want some nice organic SEO traffic, Pinterest is really good. You want some organic video traffic, YouTube is really good. And if you don't want to pay for traffic, email is the best. But this is Chris. I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Chris.
Definitely agree with that, man, because even if you don't target someone like through traditional email, by actually sending them an email, still having that email is super powerful to your marketing campaign, because you can upload the email to marketing platforms like Facebook, Google, YouTube, or whatever. You can upload that to pretty much any platform, and you can target that specific customer. And just like you said, everyone needs an email to basically do everything. So everything that you do under your email starts to store data under that email. So when you when you're logged inside of that email and you're following the same characteristics, you have ads that are able to basically target you because of what you have searched for, what you have looked for, what you've talked about under that email. So that email, even if you guys are not going to go towards traditional way of just sending out emails to people like through email blast campaigns and stuff like that, that email is still super powerful, because you can use that email inside of your campaign and target customers and target people that fit the same criteria, or you can just target that person specifically and get that person to actually convert with you. Emails are super, super powerful no matter how you're actually using them. Emails return on investment is for every dollar that you put inside of it, it's like a $44 return. And people think that that's all to just sending people emails. No, it's just the power that an email actually gives you and what you're able to do with an email, because you're able to go to a platform and literally tell it, I want to target this person and this person right here. If you're able to do that with a platform, one, your cost per click goes down, and also you're reaching the type of audience that you want to actually go towards. So email is super powerful no matter how you actually use it. You just need to figure out a way to get your customers emails. This is Who Does Your Marketing, and I'm out.
Woo! Who Does is giving 7-figure advice here on stage, absolutely for free. And I'd like to reset the room because I know we got a lot of new people in the room today. I just want to thank Richard, Alexa, Christian, Mike, and Sarah for joining us. It's always good to have you guys here. And today we're discussing digital marketing that works in 2021. And Richard, please give us some advice or feedback that you felt has worked for you in 2021 pertaining to digital marketing. All right. Alexa, you here? Okay, so Christian, are you on stage?
Yeah, I'm kind of giggling in the background here. Everyone's sleeping here. It's a weird time for. I'm in the travel industry, right? So we've had 12 months of just dead, nothing's happening. But I think people get confused on socials between social organic and social advertising. I think that's the one thing that I would sort of push in these rooms, that people need to understand the difference between building an organic following and just jumping in and doing Facebook advertising or Instagram advertising. And I think that's what's changed a lot in the last couple of years, especially this year. Now you need to be everywhere, right? You need to do Facebook advertising. You need to be on Instagram. You probably should be doing TikTok for most audiences. Obviously, depends on the product. But I think people need to learn that social advertising part, not just the organic social. That would be my biggest thing for the last year or so, because now everybody has gone digital. Everyone's stuck at home, spending much more time on the socials.
Thank you, Christian. I appreciate your feedback. I actually have an important question, because a lot of us haven't been able to travel. Can you give us any insights on your outlook on the future of traveling, and how soon do you think we'll be able to get back to traveling?
Yeah, I mean, my perspective is kind of global. I've got a platform where I store the world's tours and activities. So anything that you do in a location, you store it on my platform, hopefully. So it's just really geographic, right? So the US is definitely leading the charge right now because of the vaccination rates, and the US has got a massive domestic population. Following that, the UK is really strong, and then it's just really down to country by country. So Europe is struggling right now on a new surge. So it really depends where you are. And you've got places like Australia and New Zealand that are just blocked off right now, and probably going to be that way for the next 6 to 9 months. So I know a lot of Americans on this platform. We're in a good spot. I think in about another month, things are going to really open up with the vaccine rates going up. So it's been a rough 12 months, 13 months in this industry, but we're optimistic looking forwards.
That's amazing, man. We love your outlook, and we appreciate you giving us your opinion on that. Welcome, Sarah. It's nice to have you on stage, and you always have amazing wisdom to share with us. Please let us know what's worked for you in digital marketing in 2021.
Hi, Sammy. You're too kind. So I want to be cognizant that I don't repeat anything that was said earlier. Have we talked about ClubHouse ad nauseum, or can I talk about that a little bit?
You can go ahead.
So one of the things that I'm actually really interested in, and my clients are really interested right now, is around migrating communities across platforms. I think we always talk about that, right? Whenever a new platform blows up, both how do you, if you're a person of influence on another platform, kind of potentially migrate those communities over, and then simultaneously, if you start gaining traction on one platform, how do you connect that back to your communities elsewhere? So one of the places where this has been of particular interest for some of the people that I work with is between ClubHouse and LinkedIn, because I work with a couple of LinkedIn influencers, and so we're really trying to be cognizant. It's actually been super helpful now that ClubHouse has the actual links to clubs and to profiles, because originally, right, it always kind of sucks when you're just like, follow me, here's my handle, or follow me, here's my club name, and there's not that direct link. Even though there was the link to the individual events, it was harder to gain traction around people actually, joining your clubs or finding your handle, even though they could just search for them. So, one of the things that we're kind of thinking about is these other platforms as almost like the tailgate or the after party to ClubHouse. So kind of how can you, do something to generate interest with your community on another platform before a ClubHouse room, and or do a postmortem on another platform to make it like a continuous experience. We're almost engaging with you on each individual platform. There's like continuity for your brand and for your community, but then there's also that like exclusive in-app experience if they follow you and if they migrate with you. So that's something that we've been really thinking about to gain traction across platforms. This is Sarah, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Sarah. Sorry, who was that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that's an interesting point, Sarah. And we spend so much time talking about marketing and about value props to customers, but I don't know how many people actually think about giving a value prop to other people in a ClubHouse room about why they should come to my Instagram or why they should come to my LinkedIn. It's almost an assumed, hey, you've heard me speak here on ClubHouse, therefore go and see my socials over here. But I don't think any of us, or not many of us, I think a lot of us don't spend enough time thinking about that value prop and why people should jump over to the next platform. It's quite an interesting perspective, Sarah.
Thank you. Yeah, and vice versa. Like if you've spent so much time building traction, because one of the things that we see is that people who might have hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram or on LinkedIn, they're starting from scratch on Clubhouse. But how do you make that migration kind of seamless? So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Sorry, I just wanted to thank you. I just wanted to ask Sarah about your thought process, because what's really great working with so many different people and different experts is not just to get the outcome, but what's your thought process as you think about gaining traction? You have a big audience on one platform, a new platform opens up, and you are, a small fish. And just as a little caveat to that, or a segue to that, I've noticed that you'll have some really big influencers, say on Instagram and on here, but there'll be 100,000, 80,000 more. On Instagram, on here, they might be at a few hundred people. So it's almost like they get that sense of what it's like to be small again. And you've got kind of like the new kid at school and everybody's looking around and you're trying to grow. But as Sarah, as you're thinking, okay, I want to migrate across to these other platforms, what's your thought process as to why you want to do that? Because there is another argument that says, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but there's another argument that says, well, if you have traction in one particular platform, you may be able to, there isn't any need per se to bring an audience from one platform to another platform. You can simply grow the new one and reach out to a new audience, because ultimately the aim is to kind of get them into your email list anyway. But what's your thought process as to why it is you want to migrate them, and what would you do once you have migrated them? Mrs. Roberts, I'm done speaking.
That's a great point. First of all, I think that there's almost something like philosophically about thought leaders, that they like innovating, they like being on the cutting edge, and they want to be first, right? They don't want to be the last one on the new platform. I think that there's potentially this concern that if, everyone else in your industry is experimenting with something and you say like, no, I'm good over where I have my community, that, what happens if you wait 3 to 6 months and then it's the thing and you're 3 to 6 months behind everyone else? Like, to me, that's not the mentality of a thought leader. Now, with that said, another thing I think too is sometimes people will come on here and they'll say, I have no traction anywhere. Do I need to be everywhere? And I feel like then sometimes we talk about maybe digging in with one channel and starting there. But I don't know. I think also maybe once you get to a point where you have a foothold and you have a community, as I said, it's kind of like, I think you frame it out as building out the experience for them. So kind of saying, hey, come join me over here. Come explore this with me. Let's see what new connections we can make. Let's see how we can grow. Let's see what new possibilities there are. Let's see what additional connection there is amidst this pandemic. And so for me, I think there's a lot of the spirit of innovation and community, and in an additional channel and just building out the experience. I think also, a lot of thought leaders with huge followings have super fans, and they're always looking for ways to enhance the fan experience. And I know that we haven't necessarily seen how Clubhouse is going to be monetized yet, but I think it's just like when people, have VIP tickets for their events, or they have merch, or they have kind of all of these different, like, get one step closer exclusive fan experiences. I don't know. I think that there's some thought process around, kind of saying to them, come join me on Clubhouse. It's like bringing them with you. And I think that's part of fostering community. These are my thoughts. I'm done speaking.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing your feedback. And Robert, see, the interesting thing is the way I see Clubhouse is almost like an audio landing page. And for the first while, everybody, and as we speak, so many people are focused on growing their followers on Clubhouse, and they're not taking it offline. So one of the questions is, has some of you actually had a private room one-on-one with somebody, called them into a room and had a discussion? Because I think one of the most innovative and creative people on this platform would be Gary Henderson. I mean, one time I was speaking to him and he just called me into a room and we were able to have a private one-on-one conversation. And I'm like, wow, like we don't have to get on a Zoom and set up a Zoom and we don't have to try to get on a call and match times. Look, we're online. We're both on here. Let's have a quick chat. And I think this is something that people should take a moment and just see all of the amazing avenues that this platform actually has, especially having a club. At the end of the day, having a club is one of the steps that you're going to be building your tribe. But on ClubHouse, you'll have some people who have 500 followers, and if they've already generated business clients or have worked with somebody and hired somebody. So I think it's very important that everybody takes a moment and sees all of the different aspects that ClubHouse has, but also be considerate by not judging people of the amount of followers that they have on here, because there's so many executives that actually have their assistants listening in. I know a few big influencers and multimillionaires who send executives and friends in to listen in and see who they might want to hire, who they might want to work with, because the thought leaders, the ones who are eventually now jumping on board, are starting to realize maybe they don't want to be exposed as much, but they might have someone that represent them. So I think it's very important to always treat everybody as a potential opportunity to build a relationship with and have potentially a working relationship with in the future. So, Mike, it's nice to have you here. Please do share with us something that's worked for you in regards to digital marketing in 2021.
Thanks, Sammy. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Bill, thanks for bringing me up. In listening to you, Sammy, talk, one of the things that, I'm a traditional direct response guy. I've been on television for the past 12 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we use this little known device that we're all on right now called the telephone. And I think a lot of digital marketers, actually I know a lot of digital marketers neglect to really use the power of the telephone number to increase their customer experience, to increase their revenue, and to also increase their overall efficiency. And since I've built my business over the past 12 years, and you see a lot of people talk, big numbers and things like that. My companies have generated hundreds of millions of dollars, and we've had peaks and valleys. But one of the things that we've really found that we've really leveraged is in fact using the telephone number. And as technology advances and as the world continues to change, the telephone number is still a very, very powerful marketing medium. So we use things obviously like texting and SMS text messages. We also use voice broadcast. But we also use, and I've talked about this in a room before, and it's funny, people violently got upset with me and sent me direct messages, and they couldn't believe that what I said, what I'm about to say right now, which is one of the things that we use is probably it's changed my world, it's changed my company's world, and made us extremely efficient and increased our profitability significantly, which is using ringless voicemail drops. And so if you're a digital marketer and you're collecting data and you're not using a ringless voicemail drop, you're really missing out. And if you're not familiar with what they are, it's pretty simple how it works. I'm the furthest from a tech guy that you can imagine. But a ringless voicemail drop is really, really simple. And it also has the very essence of what we all talk about here when we all talk about funnels. And basically how it works is you drop a voicemail into someone's device. And the phone doesn't necessarily ring, but the phone lights up. And so the customer would see that their phone lit up. And it has an 85% response rate. And the reason why it has an 85% response rate is because people usually just automatically click the number and they call it back. And the important part about what happens there is that when they call back, it's what you do next. It's the funnel that you create that then can really convert sales and can also increase your efficiency. So we use it on our side in my companies for things like customer service, for sales, for a new offer, and it's amazing, what could happen. So the other part too about a ringless voicemail drop, depending on the devices that you're using, what's beautiful about it, especially with an iOS that we're all sitting on right now, is if the message is done correctly. For instance, if you say something like, go to bestsellersecretsbook.com. It's one of my websites, bestsellersecretsbook.com. And when you say that properly in the message, the transcription service on the iOS will actually dictate it, and then create a hyperlink so then the customer can just click it and bring it right to your website. The other super sexy part about it is it's pennies, like 3 cents. You could do 1 or you could do 10 million all at once, depending on the size of your database. So if you're out there collecting data and collecting email addresses like we do as well, make sure you're collecting the telephone number, because then there's so many other things that, and we can get into. I don't want to dominate the stage, but things like device ID extraction, which is just crazy what's happening in that world with the telephone numbers as well. So make sure you maximize the telephone numbers and use them to your advantage. My name is Mike Alden. I'm the guy with the smiley.